Everybody knows I don't even know what sloka it is.
150.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You want, or you have own?
And his books here.
Yeah. No, you have your own sloka or your regular one?
Oh.
What's it like?
It's better if people listen instead of reading. When they listen, you actually learn more. If you read from the thing, it's not the same.
I mean for the sloka?
Oh, for the response chanting?
Yeah.
Bring it up. Yeah, of course. Okay. There's one bhajan called Yasomati Nandana. You can sing that one. I'm sure most devotees know that, right? You can also bring it up for those who don't know the bhajan. It's called Nama Kirtana. Okay. Yasomati Nandana Brajabadanagara Gokula Ranjana Yasomati Nandana Brajabadanagara Gokula Gopi Paranandanam Madhanam Manoharam Gopi Paranandanam Madhanam Manoharam Kaliyaramana These are names of Krishna, and when you're singing this, you're glorifying every one of the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. So sing with all your energy, all your heart, all your everything. Sing from the heart. Sing like this is the only thing left in life. Brajajana Falana Surakulan Hasanam Hanta Guram Narakuham Hey Hanta Guram Narakuham Govinda Madhava Namanita Tadhava Govinda Madhava Namanita Tadhava Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gokula Ranjana. Kana, okay, call out. Kana. That bhajan was a favorite of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. When he left the world, or while he was leaving the world, he requested that bhajan to be sung. Simply the names of Krishna and Vrindavan and his pastimes. The whole process of bhakti is to get attached to Krishna. That is the goal. To become Krishna addicted. It's like Prabhupada used to say. A wino, a drunkard, that's his whole life is simply drinking. You go to places in New York and other big cities, there's people who, that's all they do. They don't have any money, but they beg some money here and there, and they buy a cheap bottle of wine for 50 cents or $1. It's the worst stuff in the market, but it's alcohol. So they drink it, and when they finish, they're looking for the next bottle. And when they finish that, it just keeps going. So Prabhupada said we should be like that. We should be thinking Krishna always. Always Krishna. If we're thinking of always Krishna as much as we can, then we become not only fully Krishna conscious, we become free from all of the difficulties it comes by living in this world with a material body. Which are many. Yeah, so that's the formula. Okay, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 1, Chapter 7, this is verse 50, 51, 52. Okay? Nakula Sahadevascha Yuyudano Dhananjayaha Bhagavan Devaki Putro Ye Chanyayascha Yositaha Nakula Sabadevascha Yuyudhano Dhananjayaha Bhagavan Devaki Putro Ye Chanyayascha Yositaha Nakula, Sahadeva, Sahadeva, Cha, and Yuyudhana, Satyaki, Dhananjaya, Arjun, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Devaki Putra, the son of Devaki, Lord Shri Krishna. Yea, these, cha, and anye, others, ya, those, cha, and yositaha, ladies. Translation: Nakula and Sahadev, the younger brothers of the king, and also Satyaki, Arjun, the personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, who is the son of Devaki, and the ladies and others all unanimously agreed with the king. This is really an interesting pastime. We don't really know what's going on, because even the statements are somewhat theoretical until they come to the final statement. Bhima, next verse, however, disagreed with them and recommended killing this culprit who, in an angry mood, had murdered sleeping children for no purpose and for neither his nor his master's interest. So Bhima speaks up. Chaturvyuha, the four-eyed one of the personality of Godhead, after hearing the words of Bhima, Draupadi, and others, saw the face of his dear friend Arjun and began to speak as if smiling. So purport from verse 52. Lord Shri Krishna had two arms. And why he is designated as four-armed is explained by Sridhar Swami. Both Bhima and Draupadi held opposite views about killing Asvatthama. Bhima wanted him to be immediately killed, whereas Draupadi wanted to save him. We can imagine Bhima ready to kill both of them. We can imagine Bhima ready to kill while Draupadi is obstructing him. And in order to prevent both of them, the Lord discovered another two arms. Originally, the primeval Lord Shri Krishna displays only two arms, but in his Narayan feature, he exhibits four. In his Narayan feature, he resides with his devotees in Vaikuntha planets, while in his original Shri Krishna feature, he resides in the Krishna local planet, far, far above the Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky. Therefore, if Krishna is called Chaturbhuja, there is no contradiction. If need be, he can display hundreds of arms, as he exhibited in his Virat Rup shown to Arjun. Therefore, one who can display hundreds and thousands of arms can also manifest four arms whenever needed. When Arjun was perplexed about what to do with Asvatthama, Lord Shri Krishna, as a very dear friend of Arjun, voluntarily took up the matter just to make a solution, and he was also smiling. Om Gyanti Mirandasya Gana Jana Salakaya Taksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya De Satarine Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Titanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. You can imagine the scene here, all of these great personalities. Yudhisthira, Nakul, Sahadev, Arjun, Bhima, Krishna, Draupadi. They're all discussing what to do with Asvatthama. It's like a big court case. And there's different opinions. So Yudhisthira makes this very sweeping statement which is mentioned in the previous verse, that to offend the Brahmins, that will burn the fire of devotion, who cause great havoc. So everyone unanimously agrees with Yudhisthira, yes, we should not kill him. But Bhima doesn't want to hear it. He's thinking, this guy is a offender, the evidence is right there, everybody knows what he did was against all religious principles and for Kshatriya principles. He didn't please himself, he didn't please anybody. He tried to please Duryodhana, but Duryodhana wasn't even pleased by his heinous acts. So it's obvious, he's a maha offender. There's no other judgment for him to be killed. So, but Draupadi is still in the mood. So she, that's not going to do anything. She is still speaking that he should be spared. And so Krishna sees there's some, what we say, strong differences of opinion between Bhima, who's a fiery warrior, and Draupadi, who's a very chaste, faithful, and intelligent lady. So Krishna thinks 2 arms is not enough to deal with this situation. You gotta manifest 4 arms. So he manifests 4 arms. And it's interesting just to show his Vaikuntha nature also. But he is the source of Vaikuntha. So as it says here, if he wants to exhibit hundreds of arms, thousands of arms, millions of arms, it's not a problem. The nature of the absolute truth is that there is nothing that he cannot do. There was a story one time where Prabhupada was speaking about the glories of Krishna, and he was describing Krishna can do anything. Anything. So anything conceivable becomes possible by Krishna, or even the things that we can't conceive is possible. So there was some discussion. These were some leading philosophers who had come to see Prabhupada, and they were listening to Prabhupada glorify Krishna. And one of them, he decided to try to challenge Prabhupada's statement. And he made a trick question, not really a sound question, but being a philosopher, they like to use all kinds of ways to put their philosophy across. So he said to Prabhupada, can God, Krishna, create a rock he can't lift? So think about that one. Can he create a rock he can't lift? So if you answer yes, that means that you minimize his lifting power. And if you say no, you minimize his creating power. So yes and no answers don't fit. So what did Prabhupada say? Don't try to trick the spiritual master. He's always one step ahead. And he said, yes, Krishna can create a rock he can't lift it, and then he'll lift it. He'll first create the rock he can't lift, and then he'll create the lifting power to lift it. So what it means is that he can do anything. Krishna's all powerful. Yeah, and so here it mentions that Krishna's smiling. I mean, this is a very serious business here, the life of this Brahmin. And everyone is making their very forceful opinions about what to do with him. But Krishna's smiling. Why does Krishna smile? Because he knows the answer. And he knows who can give the right answer. There's only one person sitting in the midst of all of them that can give the right answer, and that's Arjuna. Because Arjuna, he knows the mind of Krishna, at least to a large degree. So you'll see, Krishna looks at him, and then Arjuna exactly knows exactly what to do, and that'll be explained in the following verses. So Krishna's always smiling. Sometimes you see caricatures of God being displayed by the secular society. And God is either an old man sitting on a cloud. He's old, because he's been around for a while. He's retired. He's collecting, unemployment or old age pension. He's an old man. So that's one depiction of God. He's just old, and he's surrounded by angels. He's a pretty nice looking old guy, but he's old. So that goes on as the image of God. That was done by Michelangelo, a famous Italian artist, who drew that particular depiction of God. But that doesn't mean that's actually God. I mean, if God wanted to manifest that form, he could. But he has his original form, which is there. And then you see sometimes there's another depiction of God. He's this big guy with a lot of muscles, and he has to carry the weight of the world on his back. So he's hunched over, and the weight of the world is on his back. He's still a fertile mind of what God is. But the Shastras say God is a cowherd boy. Hare Krishna. And people will say, where did you get that from? We got it from God himself. He says, my name is Gopal, protector of the cows. My name is Govinda, one who gives pleasure to the cows. And his form is mentioned and also described and also illustrated in many, many of the Shastras. So there's no doubt one is the form of God. He likes to play with cows. Hare Krishna. And so sometimes people will say, well, that's not God. They'll say that. And then we say, all right, if you don't believe that's God, give us your definition or your understanding of God. And they can't. They say, that's not God, but we don't know what is God. So what does that say? What does that say? That says that, well, I don't know what God is, but what you say is God is not God. That means if I don't know what it is, then you can't say what it isn't. If you don't know what it is, who he is or what he looks like, you can't say what he isn't, right? If you know, then you say. But if you don't know, you can't say what is not. It's contradiction in language. So we say Krishna is God. He's a cowherd boy. Plays with cows. He has a lot of girlfriends. And he steals butter. He makes babies cry by pinching them. He grabs the tails of the cows and goes sliding through the cow dung as they run. And his mother is, she gets angry at him. She ties him up and he, and then he gets angry at his mother for tying him up. So, can we say that's God? I mean, do we actually believe that? Yes, because as above, so below. What you see is the activities that go on in this world are really prototypes or reflections of what goes on in the spiritual world. Prabhupada said, if you want to know about God, just examine yourself, and you can get an understanding of, at least you can get an understanding of some of the understandings that are needed to know what is God or who is God. Because this material world is a reflection of the reality. When you look into a mirror, you see the reflection of the image in front of the mirror, but that reflection is not anything, it's simply a reflection. So this material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. It's real, just like the image in the mirror is real, but you can't, if you're eating bananas and you're standing in front of the mirror, and you think, I'm going to eat that banana in the mirror. Go ahead and try it. So what does that say? Is this material world is real, just as the reflection is also real, but still remains as a reflection, so the substance of reality doesn't exist in the reflection. So what it means is that people are trying to be happy here, but there's no happiness here, so you can't be happy here because it's just not a place for happiness. There's no reality here. It's just a reflection of the reality which exists in the spiritual world. Therefore, nothing in this world has any substance to it, but it exists. It's like a shadow. A shadow is the image of the person, but the shadow is not the person. But without the person, there is no shadow. So God is the reality, and everything else, His energy is a reflection of Him in different forms of His creation, or His existence, you also can say. And the material world, people are trying to become happy in a reflection. It's like trying to eat the bananas in the mirror. They're not real. So this is the illusion. That's why we call this world illusionary. The Mayavadis say, a class of people say that this world is unreal. And the Zen Buddhists, they even take it even a step farther. The Zen Buddhists, they sit their shikshas, their disciples in rows, and they take a stick and they hit you hard, boom. And they say, that pain you feel is not real. It's simply an illusion. Although you got a bruise and it hurts, it's still an illusion. So they want to teach you from some ridiculous form of, obviously, activity. The Mayavadis say it's not real, in the sense that what you see is simply an illusion. It's just the movement of the material energies, and therefore it is not real. But Krishna says also, the material energy is also my energy. He says, Daivi esha gunamayi, mama maya dharatya. This material energy is Daivi. Daivi means spiritual, in the sense that it's coming from the source of the spirit person who is spiritual. So anything that comes from God is also spiritual, but it has different qualities to it. So in the qualities, there's different energies, and different energies work in different ways. So in this material energy works in a way to give people the idea that you can be happy here by manipulating this material energy. And that's what life in the material world is about. Trying to manipulate something to make it work for your happiness. And people manipulate their whole life. And then they're being manipulated by the same thing they try to manipulate. For example, just like people who smoke cigarettes. So they say, I'm enjoying the cigarette. No, the cigarette has captured you, and you're attracted, and you're attached to smoking. So you're under the control of this principle of smoking cigarettes. So the cigarette is more powerful than you are because it has captured your attention and made you addicted to doing that. So therefore, people are controlled by what they try to control. If you understand how the material world energy works, people think I'm controlling it, but they're being controlled by the thing that they're trying to control. Because no one can control the material energy. Krishna says, this energy, maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetu nanalakonte jagavi parvi partante. This energy works under my control. And it's moving, but under my orders it works. And it's creating and annihilating over and over again. But it all works under the control of the Supreme Lord. And people try to adjust the material energy. They're not controlling it. They're adjusting it to make it work in a different way, but it's unnatural to make it work in a different way. Therefore, they get controlled by that same thing they try to control. And it causes them difficulty, suffering, discontent, unhappiness, and just unfulfilled desires. That's the material world. Unfulfilled desires. People have desires, but they can't fulfill them. And they're always trying to fulfill them. Just like people who engage in sex life. They're thinking they're fulfilling their desires to enjoy, but it creates this, what we say, attachment to this activity that they're never satisfied. And every time they try to satisfy themselves, they feel satisfied for a little while, and then that satisfaction wears off just as fast as it comes on. And then the addiction just increases. That's the nature of anything material. When you get attached to something, it gives you a reaction, and it creates a sense of perpetuation. You want to do it again and again and again. So you get caught up in that cycle of being attached to a particular type of activity. And when you get frustrated and realize you're not enjoying anything, you give it up and you look for something else, and then that other thing controls you in the same way. And there's no happiness. All it is, that's why they say this material world is simply a struggle. Struggle to find happiness, to struggle to live long. None of it is available. It's only available in the reality, and that is in Krishna consciousness. So here Krishna is trying to enlighten his followers on how he knows what is the best way to satisfy Bhima and Draupadi. See, that's what Krishna has in mind. He's not making a judgment on the situation. Bhima has he's really, just kill him. Draupadi says, no. He's a Brahmana, he's worshipable. I don't want his wife, his mother to suffer like me. They both have strong feelings towards Asvatthama. So Krishna has to think how to satisfy both of them. And that's the whole plan of this particular pastime, and you'll see as Krishna comes up with the perfect plan. So, therefore, in ultimate, you can say, if you want to be successful in life, just depend on Krishna. That's all. We have abilities, we have talents, we have so many, what we say, maybe achievements in our life, but our success is to depend on Krishna and everything. And as Prabhupada said, even in the context of devotional service, if you always depend on Krishna, you'll never be unsuccessful in anything you do. Because as soon as Krishna enters into the mix, you bring him in, then everything becomes, what we say, successful or wonderful. And the result is the perfect result. No matter what the result may be, it's perfect because Krishna has ordained it. So, therefore, devotees know, I can't do anything, but Krishna can do everything. I can't understand, but Krishna can give me the understanding. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I give you knowledge, I give you, if you want to forget me, I'll give you a whole philosophy where you can write books about how I don't exist. Yeah, he can give you some. You just like, there are people who are atheists, and some of them are very, what we say, they speak very convincingly about their philosophy of atheism. We don't call it a philosophy, we call it a philosophy. Because it's not really philosophy. But they have followers, and they say God does not exist. And they do make some statements, well, if God exists, why this world is such a mess? Why doesn't he do something if he's the all good, person in control? Therefore, nothing's happening, nothing's getting better, therefore he doesn't exist. And that's their biggest problem. Or the biggest philosophy, or something happens to them in their personal life, and they had some faith in God, and God didn't come through according to their understanding. Just like Prabhupada said in World War II, the Germans were fighting the English. And so the women, the sisters of the soldiers, the daughters of the soldiers, the mothers of the soldiers, they were all going to churches and praying, please bring my son, my brother, my husband back. But they weren't coming back. So Prabhupada said they gave up God. God does not exist. But God is not our order supplier. He's the order giver. And he does things according to what is best for everyone. He sees the big picture. We see just the immediate, I want things to happen this way, and God is supposed to make it happen. Hare Krishna. And then if you live life like that, you'll always be wondering what happened. We simply depend on the Lord, and we accept whatever comes as His mercy, and the devotee is happy. Because Krishna is perfect, and for his devotee, he always does what is best to bring his devotee closer to him. Sometimes he gives his devotee some trouble. Sometimes he'll give some ill health to his devotee, or sometimes he'll frustrate his devotees in their attempt to do something in devotional service. Why? Because it's a higher principle. There's another reason. It may not always be apparent when it's happening, but those who know that whatever Krishna does or allows to happen, he has two principles. He wants things to happen, and he allows things to happen. He allows things to happen, that's mostly his material energy, because he puts the material energy working according to certain rules and laws. And when you plug into material activities, those laws and those rules will work according to his arrangement. And he allows that to happen. Just like you might be standing on the street corner and you think, well, I'm a devotee and God will protect me. I'll just walk in the middle of the street when the traffic's, fast, and no car will hit me. Hare Krishna. Don't try it. Sometimes people mistakenly think like that. I mean, that's faith, but it's faith with a little bit of intoxication in there. So it's not real faith. So we follow the principles of how to live properly, but we also depend on Krishna in all circumstances. And if he wants you to forget him, you can't remember him, even if you try. And even if you forget him and he wants you to remember him, remembrance becomes natural and easy. Of course, devotees try to remember Krishna, therefore Krishna is always fulfilling the desires of the devotees. So Krishna is very kind to his devotees, and you'll see how kind he is here. He doesn't want to favor Bhima over Draupadi, he doesn't want to favor Draupadi over Bhima. He wants to satisfy both of them. So he comes up with the perfect solution. Okay, any questions or comments? Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, what to do when lust attack us?
Lust? Krishna explains what lust is. Lust is the desire to enjoy in this material world. People sometimes connect lust with sex desire, but that's just one form of it. The desire to get more and more money, that's lust. The desire to get more and more material things. The desire to get more and more power in the material world, these are all forms of lust. So, lust is very strong, and it consumes the consciousness of people who plug into that mood, and they become so overwhelmed by it, they don't even think of the consequences. But the consequences of lust is one becomes, what we say, totally unhappy. Even when they try to fulfill their lust. Sometimes they know, I've fulfilled my lust so many times and I'm not happy, but they can't stop it because it becomes like an addiction. So what is lust? Lust is the principle of love of God directed towards the material energy. It's the same thing. Our love for Krishna is so powerful. It's like, sometimes it's compared to a river that is flowing speedily along the way. So powerful. But that love for Krishna, when it gets turned away from Krishna and goes towards material things, that is lust. It's the same energy. So bring that energy back towards Krishna. Become not lusty for Krishna, but you to put your attention on Krishna. That I want to serve Krishna nicely. That helps to deteriorate or mitigate or lessen the effects of lust. When lust comes, you can pray to Krishna, Krishna save me. And usually devotees have that problem because they struggle. It's like brahmacharis. There's an old you've heard of Delika Ladu? Delika Ladu? Anybody hear of Delika Ladu? Delika Ladu. It's not a real ladu. We know what a ladu is, right? It's a sweet ball. This is Delika Ladu. Delika Ladu is those who have sex life, they don't want it, and those don't have it, they want it. Those who have it don't want it, and those who don't have it, they want it. So speak to the people who have it, if you want it. They'll tell you what, it's not like what you think it is. Of course, unless they're really intoxicated, but that's another thing. So, yeah. It says, use that same energy to serve the Lord. Sometimes we say, work hard. Do some physical hard work. Things that can help you become free from developing lust is don't eat at night unless you eat very little. Eating big feasts at night will increase lusty desires and make sleep also very much disturbed. Don't eat a lot in general because it says there's a straight line from the tongue, the belly, and the genitals. If you fill the belly up, it pushes on the genitals and the sex urge comes. And if you fall asleep, as soon as you wake up, that sex urge is really strong, very strong. So be careful how you maintain your activities in Krishna consciousness. All these things are mentioned in Shastra. Don't eat too much, not too little. Don't sleep too much, don't sleep too little. Keep your attention on devotional activities. When the images of lust appear in your mind, just immediately remove them and think of Krishna or think of something spiritual, like that. So these things we have to work. Krishna killed many demons in Vrindavan, but Balaram killed two major ones, Danakasura and Palambasura. Palambasura was the personification of lust. Was killed by Balaram, not by Krishna. Balaram represents the original spiritual master. So it says that one has to make an effort by one's own endeavors to overcome this lust. Chant the holy names, of course, and pray to the Lord, and especially pray to the spiritual master. That particular anartha, or lust, is really overcome by the power of the mercy of the spiritual master. So pray to the spiritual master. The spiritual master can help you overcome that. And also you can also speak to him about if you're also having recurring, illusions about material happiness. Someone said to Prabhupada, I have this big obstacle that's overcoming me. Prabhupada said, come to me and I can kick it out with one boot. Prabhupada said, one kick of my boot and the obstacle's gone. The spiritual master is empowered to do that. He can do that. We have to take shelter of the spiritual master, pray to him, and also if he's available, speak. And then get his mercy. And if you follow the instructions given by his mercy, and avoid the temptations that come by way of living in this material world, then gradually, through the power of your bhakti, and this is where the essence is, through the power of your bhakti, you can overcome all material desires. And then they just vanish, just like clouds vanish when the wind blows very strongly. They're gone. But it's a process like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. But when you see that desire starting to come, just focus on something spiritual. And do some push-ups too, you know. That helps. I can teach you some exercises at work also. It's better than push-ups. Okay. I won't demonstrate them here because it's not the forum for showing these different exercises. But there's exercises you can use also. Lust starts in the mind, but it can manifest it in the senses. And if it manifests in the senses, then it becomes really strong, especially even in the body. So when it manifests in the mind, you can still have a chance to kick it out. But don't leave it there, because then when it comes to the senses, it becomes very strong. And Krishna talks about that in the Bhagavad Gita. He says lust can be overcome by regulation, regulating your senses. So try to regulate your activities throughout the day, and that will help you to be in the best position to deal with these desires when they appear. Anything else? Does that help a little? Jagannath?
Hare Krishna. So with this lust, sometimes we really like it so much that we don't want to even get rid of it because it makes us feel. So what to do then at that time?
You're lost. What can we say? If you like it and you're going for it, and Hare Krishna. You have to see it for what it is. The results are, all the problems in the world stem from this desire to enjoy the opposite sex. Unwanted children, murders, crime, so many forms of crime, sleepless nights, illusions, thievery. So many, what we say, extensions of these lusty desires that manifest in so many forms of suffering. So, yeah. If you don't see it says an intelligent person will see the consequence before the activity. Oh, if I do this, this will happen. If you think like that, then you can see with foresight, oh, yeah, I've did it so many times and I'm not happy, the same thing's going to happen again. It might even get worse. Okay? Yeah, so don't like it. There's other things you can like that are beneficial. Okay, anything else before? Yes, Sevakuja, yeah. I'm bad with names, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much for the lecture and your answers. Can you please explain something about Holy Dham?
The Holy Dham?
Holy Dham, in India, because I see this as Holy Dham, and wherever our deities or devotees.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why to go, to so far away. You are here as a
Yeah,
how do you call
that's
it?
true. We just did this seminar on Manashiksha, and this point was, it said, it's recommended you should reside in Vrindavan. Everyone should reside in Vrindavan. But then it goes on to explain, not everybody can reside in Vrindavan, so you should reside in Vrindavan in your mind. Manasi Seva. Worshipping Vrindavan in the mind. And that's the formula given by Raghunath Das Goswami. Remember Krishna. Remember the divine couple. Remember Sanatan Goswami. Remember Rupa Goswami. Remember the cows and Krishna playing his flute. Remember Jamuna River. Remember all of the residents of Vrindavan, always looking for and trying to associate with Krishna. See Krishna as he goes out every morning with the cows, running with his friends into the pastures, and the residents of Vrindavan following behind. He turns around and says, I'll be back. They want to go with him, but he says, be patient, I'll be back. So if we enter into this mood of Vrindavan by entering into the Leelas, then the mind is also being brought into that spiritual arena of Vrindavan. So that's actually how the Acharyas explain that you can be in Vrindavan, because Vrindavan is a state of consciousness. And you can be in the physical realm of Vrindavan and be in Ljubljana. So that means your consciousness is not there even though you're physically present. So it's all based on consciousness, really. So I would suggest you read Manashiksha by Raghunath Das Goswami. He takes you step by step how to bring the mind into Vrindavan. Very scientific. And then he ends in the later verses with Radharani and Radharani's supreme position in Vrindavan. So we can practice that consciousness. But I'll give you a more practical formula, and that read books about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. Rupa Goswami has written so much, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Raghunath Das Goswami, Jiva Goswami. The Acharyas have written so many of Krishna's Leelas, and they're for us to read. Bhakti Vinod Thakur. They'll take you into Vrindavan. You'll be sitting in your room, reading, and you'll be seeing Krishna in Vrindavan. Then you'll be experiencing Krishna while you're reading about his pastimes. You'll be taken into the mood of Vrindavan as he interacts with his devotees. That's what these books do. They actually take you into the realm of Vrindavan. And then when you're out during the day, you can always reflect on Krishna and the mood of Vrindavan, like that. There's that, what is it? Gaudiya Stotra. What was that book that they gave out during the retreat? Gaudiya Stotra Ratna. Yeah, Gaudiya Stotra Ratna. So these are the ISKCON Leelas. And in that book, this was presented by Shivaram Maharaj. The first part is the glorification of Srila Prabhupada, or the spiritual master, in the Guru Vastakam prayers. The second part is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's daily pastimes, mentioned in different sections of the day according to time. And you read it, and it takes you into Lord Chaitanya's Leelas throughout the day. Takes about 10-15 minutes to read, maybe not even. And then the third part of the book is Radha and Krishna. And their Leelas, on how Krishna, Krishna, he's with Radharani and Vrindavan, they're sleeping, and it's early in the morning. It's just, the dawn has not even come up yet. It's like about 3:36 in the morning. And Vrinda wants to wake up Radha and Krishna. They're still together in their loving embrace. So she summons the residents. She calls the birds, she calls the monkeys, and they all make sounds. And the birds sing so sweetly, and the chirping, and then the monkey, Kakati, she used to go, and Radharani gets scared, and she starts waking up. Oh, they found us, And Radharani and Krishna wake up, and then they realize we have to part and go in different ways. Now we are finished with our evening pastimes. So that's the first one. And then if you go on to the next one, then Krishna and Radha in the next one. And then Krishna through the whole 8 times. And this is Astakali Leela, so 8 parts of the day. Read that. It's nice. It takes you right into Vrindavan, into the mood of, Radha Krishna's Leelas. So we have so many nice books. But don't let them decorate your bookshelf, that's all. Collect dust. Read them. Especially Bhagavatam. Anything else before we end? Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'll try and get you a copy of that book. You have a copy, right? No. Show it to me. It was okay. It was 2 drops instead of 3. Let's run. Just think, you're not happy now. I keep doing it, it's going to be increasing your happiness. We do something to get us to become happy. But if you stop making us happy, obviously, this instant gratification.
Če ne bo, pač ne bo, no, veš, če ti se matraš, ja, če nimaš, ne more ti nobeden. To moraš vzeti za svojo službo, ostale pa, kdo je tvoja milost, tvoj jaz